Hello and welcome back. This is Insti and I'm continuing playing Agatha Christie Murder on the Orient Express. Last episode we interviewed passengers, workers, and collected evidence and whatnot, and we couldn't move the story forward. First I thought it was because I was missing fingerprints, and which I did. I missed a fingerprint from the crate, which I should have. And my tired brains were trying to think of what was it, what we need to move forward, and I thought it's my game got stuck. Hopefully it's not stuck. What I didn't realize, I had to look it up later, I'm still missing a fingerprint. I have, if I checked correctly, I have everything I should have now, from fingerprints from the different cars, but there's one item where I haven't taken the fingerprints yet. But everything else should be okay. So if I'm correct, I'm taking a fingerprint from one item, and then we can forward the story, hopefully. So what was the item I missed? It's the broken padlock from the hut from the forest. Yes, a smudge. And if everything goes accordingly,
Wait, that is how Poirot would have done it.
we can finally continue. Unless I'm missing something else. No, no.
I obtained a clear print and have filed it.
Good. Now we have to check whose fingerprint that is. No, I don't.
These prints don't
No.
match.
Definitely not Debenham. Maybe.
These prints don't
Nope.
match.
What about Count?
These prints don't match.
These don't seem similar. So
These prints don't match.
I'm almost sure it's not Edward Masterman.
These prints don't match.
I'm not certain.
These prints don't match.
No, there's... Okay.
These prints don't match.
So Greta's fingerprints are not found anywhere.
These prints don't match. These prints don't match.
Ah,
These prints don't match.
okay.
These prints don't match.
Ah, okay, I can see it. It's not... It's Matteo's.
The prints match.
Oh, that's interesting. And the Matteo was attendant. Okay. So let's see if I finally have everything.
Ah, your return. Is there more to report to me, mademoiselle?
Hopefully. Yeah, that... Hopefully that
And
was...
that is everything I have discovered so far.
That was the missing piece.
Progress, mademoiselle. Now, Let us see what we can learn.
Mateo's fingerprints are on the padlock from the door of the hut. Okay, so we can say that. Hopefully we can forward this thing.
Mateo's fingerprints are on the padlock from the door of the hut.
That padlock interests me.
Why would Mateo have a key to a shepherd's hut in the middle of the mountains, near the spot where he would have no idea the train would be stopped by an avalanche? Monsieur Poirot, you don't think the avalanche was caused deliberately?
No, mademoiselle, I do not. There are enough fantastic elements to this crime already, without introducing the saboteurs.
But then how could his fingerprints come to be on that hut?
They were not on the hut, but on the padlock. Further investigation appears necessary on this point.
The padlock was taken when Mateo's ham radio equipment was sabotaged.
Someone has gone to great trouble, it seems, to direct suspicion upon this young man. Yet how can he have reached the Calais coach unobserved? Merci, mademoiselle. Unfortunately, the report it is not yet complete. We are now armed with much more additional knowledge than before. Continue the investigation, and do not be afraid to go over the ground you have already covered.
You can't be serious. Do I have everything now? Okay. I'll have to go through this again, and I'll pause it. I'm trying to see if I'm still missing fingerprints or something. Maybe I can go and ask some questions from this Michel or Matteo.
There is nothing more I can tell you.
Okay, and how about Matteo?
Pardon me, Señorita Marceau, but I cannot speak to you now.
Okay, I gave up. I have to pause it, and I'll have to check again what am I missing. Okay, let's see. I apparently missed stuff. Basically, I thought that there would be something in here, but I can't check this area. But what I missed is actually in here. Can you take a guess where it is? I never looked there. Well, what now? Well, obviously, we have a knife in there. Okay, this is interesting. Ooh. Close call. Now let's see if I have everything. I'm running out of options. Hopefully it's this that I'm missing. Let's just say that I spent quite a lot of time going back and forth different things and trying to check that I have everything. I went and tried check the footprints if I missed one and everything. So let's hope this is what I'm missing, because at the moment I'm thinking that if this doesn't work, wait a minute, if this doesn't work, yep, I might have start from here then, either here or need heat, and do it all over again. So let's hope this works. What do we have here? A sharp steak knife with the train logo carved into the handle. Both sides of knives are spotless, so no fingerprints. That I already knew. Now let's see if this is enough. No. Please be the thing I'm missing. I thought nothing happened, but yep. Poirot, please work.
Ah, your return. Is there more to report to me, mademoiselle?
Seems promising. Let's hope this is it. So I don't have to play parts again.
And that is everything I have discovered so far.
We progress, mademoiselle. Now, let us see what we can learn.
The steak knife I found by the cliff. Okay.
The steak knife I found by the cliff was clean. No blood or fingerprints.
It is a nuisance, that knife. On the face of it, it is of no importance. And yet, someone has taken the trouble to try and fling it over a cliff. And so, we advance in our investigations. It is obvious that our fellow passengers have not been entirely forthright. You have still not had the opportunity to search all of the compartments, and there are other mysteries still to be explained.
Those whistles mean a train with a snowplow has arrived from Broad. We should be on our way again in a very few hours. Can you see any clear path to the solution of the mystery, Monsieur Poirot?
There is a path, certainement. How clear it is as yet I cannot say. And you? Have you no theories?
So many clues, so many theories.
You have hammered the nail on its head, mademoiselle. There are far too many clues, too many theories. Please, to recommence the investigation, tout de suite.
Okay. I'm glad. Oh, yes. Oh. I was honestly worried that I have to do this all over again, and basically if it stops again, then yeah, what then? But fortunately, we managed to move forward. Then what am I doing now? Oh, search the train for any evidence that the suspects may be lying about their past. Question the suspects about their past. See if anyone has hidden motive or agenda. Use the ham radio to find out information about the suspects. Find the owner of the monogrammed handkerchief. I think I need to... I don't know. Okay, I think I need to go and talk to everyone first. Are they in their rooms? Okay. Best thing is to start from here and go back. Is the chef still here? No, he's gone. And I'm checking that no one is in here. No. Who are you?
I beg your pardon, mademoiselle, but could we talk at another time?
Okay, so I can't talk to you, but you I can talk to, hopefully.
Ah, dear young miss, I would like to say that despite all the calamity, I have enjoyed sharing my compartment.
Thank you, Greta. But I'm afraid I must ask you some more questions.
Yeah, I am thinking you must. Our gracious Father, who art in heaven, guides your hand, I think. So, I am content.
I
Was-
found a postcard in your suitcase.
My one keepsake from that time. It is a silly thing, but I hold it dear.
Okay, yes.
On the back of the postcard, you write that Helena rode on the roller coaster.
Helena Gilbert, Mrs. Armstrong's young sister, only 10 years of age, but so brave. I am not so brave.
Coney Island is in America.
Yeah, of course. It is on the Long Island of New York, in the country of America. I lied to you when I said I had never been there. May God forgive me. It is true. It is true. She was an angel, a sweet, trusting angel. She knew nothing but kindness and love. And she was took away by that wicked, wicked man. And her poor mother, and the other little one who never lived at all. I was to be that little child's nurse, too. I ought to have told you, but I was afraid. I did so rejoice that that evil man was dead, that he could not any more kill the little children.
So, yeah, obviously she was in America. So can we?
I know nothing, but if you would like to talk later, we can.
Okay. And let's start with you, Schmidt.
I have a few more questions, Frau Schmidt, if I may.
Yeah, of course.
Oh right, yeah, she is an excellent cook.
How long have you been with Madame la Princesse?
10 years.
15 years, Schmidt.
Yeah, that is right. 15, mademoiselle. I am sorry. This murder, this waiting, it distracts me.
So much so that you mistake 10 to 15. Okay, I don't think that's correct. So you're a cook.
I understand you are an excellent cook.
Yeah, indeed. All of my ladies have said so. Your Excellency.
Calm yourself, Schmidt. You don't know what you are saying.
That is true. I do not know what I am saying.
That will do for now, Mademoiselle Schmidt.
All your ladies. But you have been 15 years with her. Hello there.
I have returned to you, Your Highness.
I thought you might.
The funny thing is, if you... Oh, sorry. One moment. Yep, sorry. Back again. I should have my cell phone on the mute. Anyways, yeah, what I was going to say was that the handkerchief is interesting one because the letter is not H. It's a Cyrillic, but I can't remember what letter.
I'm having some difficulty locating the owner of this handkerchief.
I am sorry to hear that. If you had asked me, I could have told you it is mine.
Your maid said she did not recognize this handkerchief.
Schmidt believes in loyalty as I do. I believe in loyalty to one's friends and one's family and one's class.
Interesting.
How did your handkerchief come to be lying by the murdered man's body?
I have no idea.
Okay, well, we have to...
Yours? But, Your Highness, your first name is Natalia.
I'm perfectly aware of my first name, mademoiselle. My handkerchiefs are always embroidered with Russian characters. In the Cyrillic alphabet, H is written as N.
Au revoir, Princess Dragomirov.
Oh, was it A-N? Sorry. I... No, wrong. Did I remember... Well, it's been a few days when I played this, so... When I found the handkerchiefs, I mean. Yes, okay. But that explains the handkerchief, but it doesn't explain why it's in the room of the murdered person. Well, there's quite a lot of stuff inside there. So...
Pardon me, Count. I still have one or two matters I would like to discuss.
Then please, do so.
Did you notice the grease spot on your passport? See it just at the beginning of your wife's first name?
These things happen when traveling.
Wait, what?
Have you remembered anything about last night that might help us?
Nothing.
Merci, Monsieur le Comte.
Okay, so... Oh, right, yes. So, have they smudged it so it's not Helena, but Elena?
Countess, I'm sorry to bother you again, but I wonder if I might have another word with you.
Certainly.
Do you remember when I showed you this handkerchief? Handmade, embroidered in Paris, and of course, the letter H. 3 ladies aboard have the letter H in their names. But Madame Hubbard considers such a handkerchief useless. Mademoiselle Debenham's middle name is Hermione, but her handkerchiefs are dainty linen, not expensive. Hildegard Schmidt is a lady's maid, not a lady.
Why are you telling me this?
It leaves only you and Princess Dragomirov, but her first name is Natalia.
It isn't my handkerchief.
Well, that was a little awkward. We already know it's Dragomirov's handkerchief.
There is a wet luggage label on your suitcase.
Oh?
Pulling it back, I found the initials HMK.
Well, that is fascinating, isn't it?
You told me you have never been to America.
I've never been to America.
When you say you've never been to America, you say it with an American accent.
These questions are pointless.
These are observations, Monsieur le Comte, not questions.
You take too much upon yourself, mademoiselle. You are not a detective. You are a clerk in a train office, and your employer will hear her a representative of this railway, treated a diplomat and his wife.
Why was the grease spot added to your passport and the label to your case?
My wife has told you the handkerchief is not hers. There are no H's in her name. Let that be an end to it.
Okay.
Why did you hide your true identity?
Surely you can guess the reason. This man who called himself Ratchet murdered my baby niece, killed my sister, and broke my brother-in-law's heart. 3 of the people I loved best and who made up my home, my world. Of all the people on this train, I alone had the strongest motive for killing him.
I give you my word of honor. Helena never left her compartment last night.
Okay, and...
Then the handkerchief is yours.
No, it is not. I know I can't hope to make you believe me, but I assure you that is the truth.
When we learned who the man was, and that the handkerchief had been found with the letter H near his body, I pointed out to Helena it would be better to remove any connection to her. A luggage label, a grease spot to cover the alteration. What could be simpler?
I have read quite a bit about crime, Monsieur Leconte. I hope you will take it as a compliment if I say you have the makings of a very fine criminal.
I think I will not take that as a compliment, no.
Madame la Comtesse, the motive for the murder lies in the past, in the tragedy that broke up your home. Help me. Take me back into the past.
Well, this is interesting. Household?
Tell me about your sister's household.
What can I tell you? They're all dead! All dead! All dead! Sonia! Robert! Darling, darling Daisy! That curly hair, impossible to comb. That sweet, sweet smile.
Nursery.
Tell me about the nursery maid who committed suicide.
Suzanne. If she was involved, I'm sure it was innocently. Chatting idly with someone, giving the times of Daisy's outings.
Right. Nationality.
What was Suzanne's nationality?
She was French.
Ah.
What was Suzanne's last name?
I was only a child myself at the time. All we called her was Suzanne.
Was there a nurse?
Yes, a trained hospital nurse. New Daughter was her name.
Did you have a tutor or governess, perhaps?
Yes, she was a dragon. English. Rather Scots. A big red-haired woman.
Right. Name?
What was her name?
Miss Freebody, if you can believe it.
Right. Age?
How old was she?
She seemed frightfully old to me at the time, but I suppose she couldn't have been more than 40.
I know you were only a child at the time, and that the passage of years changes a person, but have you seen anyone on this train who reminds you of any of those people?
No, mademoiselle.
Well. Are we done?
The time for talk has passed.
Now that you know who I am, you will, of course, draw your own conclusions.
Well, obviously. And we have to remember you went to quite extreme lengths to hide yourselves.
Monsieur Masterman, you were once in military service.
Yes, miss, but I can't think how you could know.
Love's Captive by Mrs. Arabella Richardson.
Ah, yes. One of the privileges a soldier retains after he's mustered out. Access to the Royal Military Library. It's quite well stocked. Not all strategy and tactics and memoirs, as you've discovered.
What was your regiment?
Miss Marceu, I'm going to tell you the truth. My service is, of course, a matter of record. I don't wish to hide it. I'm quite proud of it, as a matter of fact. But it's easily researched, and the connections will be found.
Connections?
I'm sure you must already suspect. Yes, I knew Colonel Armstrong. I was his Batman in the war, and afterwards his valet in New York. I'm afraid I concealed that fact when you questioned me earlier. It was very wrong of me, miss. I feel better now that I've made a clean breast of it.
Well, we have quite a lot of connections here. And any changes to the story?
Would you like to change your story about last night?
Why, no. It is as I told you.
And Italian?
Do you have anything more to tell me of the Italian gentleman?
No, miss, and I hope you're not suspecting Tonio in any way. Tonio wouldn't hurt a fly, and I can state positively that he never left our compartment all last night. Tonio may be a foreigner, miss, but he's a very gentle creature, really. Not like those nasty, murdering mafiosi one reads about.
Well, yes, she's exactly saying what I was thinking.
You seem to know Tonio better than you led me to believe.
Well, yes, we work together. He hasn't told you yet. I thought he had. That's why I... Oh, dear. I think I have nothing more to say.
Good day, monsieur.
You said quite enough. Oh, wrong way. Wrong way. So now, no, 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 no. Back, 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 back. We need to talk one person in here. You there.
Dr. Constantine,
I thought you had forgotten about me. Do you have further need of my expert advice?
I'd like to talk to you about that, yes.
Good.
Okay.
Could you give me an account of your movements last night?
My movements? Surely, I am not a suspect. But it is absurd. I joined the train at Belgrade. I am the sole paying passenger of the Athens-Paris coach. Surrounded by the working staff. The doors are locked between my coach and the coach to Calais. So, I could not have committed the murder.
That will do for now, Doctor.
Well, he has a point, but to be honest, he still could be moving about. Now we can continue. Hello there.
I don't think she's in the mood for conversation.
Okay, we can't talk to her at the moment, at least. What about you?
Monsieur Hardman?
I owe you an apology, Miss Marceau.
You do?
I wasn't very polite when we first met outside the station. And I came on kind of strong when you caught me going through Michelle's things. There's no excuse for it. Fact is, I've always liked French girls. And that's not a lie, just the way it is. That makes my behavior even worse somehow, I think. I'm sorry.
Thank you, Monsieur Hardman. I accept your apology.
Thanks. So exactly what's up on this train? Seems bughouse to me.
To me, too, sometimes.
Fire away if you want to grill me some more.
Oh, that was a very weird apology.
Have you done any more investigating of your own?
Nope, after you caught me, I figured it wasn't worth it. Snooping around might make me look guilty. I've been sitting tight.
It seems obvious the murder is tied to the Armstrong kidnapping.
How did you and Poirot get wise to that? That's what I'd like to know.
We guessed.
Okay, I'll pretend I believe that.
Okay.
You were not the gardener at the Armstrong house, were you?
They didn't have a garden. I'm beginning to believe I'm about the only one on this train who had no connection to that case.
Have you any ideas of your own about the crime?
I admit it's got me beat.
Right. We need more information, apparently. And...
I understand we'll be underway soon.
Yes, the snow is being cleared now. I'm sorry you'll miss your boat to America.
Under the circumstances, I've decided to stop in Paris for a few days, play with my grandchildren, and recuperate from this trip.
Well, that's nice.
Have you thought of anything else that might be helpful to our investigation?
Well, you certainly have everyone in an uproar. Maybe next time you'll be able to be more discreet. Oh, I forgot. You probably won't be doing any more investigating after this, will you?
That's all.
That wasn't helpful? I thought it was.
Thank you, Madame Hubbard.
Right. Let's move forward. Or backward, actually. I'm guessing... Yes, the Italian is on the right and the rest are on the left.
Signore Foscarelli, I'm here for the truth.
I think that everyone has underestimated this Signore Poirot, and you too, Signorina. You too.
Yes, so...
I found a chauffeur's license in your suitcase.
Yes, but it is a fact I have loved motor cars my whole life. Selling them, though, is much finer than driving other people's cars.
The license is issued by the state of New York. You said you lived in Chicago. Chicago is not in that state, is it?
No. Chicago is in the state of Illinois.
So, let's... maybe you should tell the truth.
It will be a point in your favor if you tell me the truth.
You talk like the American police. Come clean. That is what they say. Come clean.
You were arrested by the American police. Was that in New York?
Arrested? No, no, never. They could not prove anything against me.
Prove anything against you? Okay.
Don't you think you should come clean, monsieur?
It is true. I have not been frank with you. The word frank, it is odd, no? It is a man's name, but I think it is correct here. I am not frank. Sometimes, you know, a motor car may not be perfect, but you must make a sale. So you are not frank.
Okay, but you were a chauffeur.
You were the Armstrong chauffeur, were you not?
Since you know, why ask me?
Why did you lie to me?
Lie? Lie? I did not lie. I was not frank.
Why?
I do not trust the Yugoslavian police. They do not like Italians. They would not have given me justice.
Chauffeur, I mean, yes.
Tell me about Daisy Armstrong.
That little one. Ah, she was the delight of the house. Tonio, she called me. They all did. She would sit in the car and pretend to hold the wheel. Ah, such a beautiful little one.
So, about your frankness?
Have you been frank about your movements last night?
I had nothing to do with that business. It was not I who killed that big ratchet. You cannot prove anything against me.
Thank you, Monsieur Foscarelli.
Okay, we're done here. Now these. Let's start.
Had a good rummage through my kit, I expect?
Yes, thank you. There is still some information I think you might be able to give us.
Indeed? I hardly think so.
Pipe cleaner.
Is that pipe cleaner one of yours?
Don't know. I don't have them monogrammed.
Can you tell me how the pipe cleaner came to be in Monsieur Ratchet's compartment?
Haven't a clue.
Right.
Did you go into Monsieur Ratchet's compartment at any time?
I've never even spoken to the man.
You never spoke to him, and you did not murder him.
If I had, I should hardly be likely to acquaint you with the fact.
Ah, well, it is of no consequence.
Oh?
Monsieur Poirot has told me he can think of 11 excellent explanations of its presence. Not now, when it's all over, when it's behind us.
Is that a quote?
Mademoiselle Debenham said those words to you at Sakeki Station in Istanbul. Tell me to what those words referred.
Why don't you ask Miss Debenham?
Well, I probably have to.
I will.
You have nothing whatever against her.
I'm sorry, but you're wrong. We know that Mademoiselle Debenham was governess in the Armstrong household at the time Daisy Armstrong was kidnapped.
The devil, you say?
Right.
If Mademoiselle Debenham is innocent, why did she conceal the fact?
I have no idea, but your suspicions are utter rot.
Yeah, there's a pattern emerging here.
Why did Mademoiselle Debenham tell me she had never been to America?
You better ask her. I still think you are wrong. You're making a serious mistake.
I think it is you, Colonel, who have made the mistake.
Okay, let's talk to you.
Hello again.
Monsieur McQueen,
I love how you say my name.
will you be serious?
I am serious. Sorry. I'd better be careful. I've realized I'm definitely the most suspicious character on the train. All you have to do is find a will in which the old man left me all his money, and that'll just about clinch it.
Okay, is there?
Is there a will?
Not that I know of. He'd never leave me a cent, really. I was just useful to him. Languages and so on. I'm no linguist, but I can get by in German and Italian and French.
Ah,
You told me you knew Sonia Armstrong.
Yes, I did. My dad was the district attorney on the case. So yes, well, I was just a kid, of course, a teenager. Schoolboy crush, I suppose, and all that.
It occurs to me that in spite of everything, the murder may not have to do with the Armstrong case at all.
Oh? I thought that must be pretty settled.
We have much evidence pointing to the existence of an outsider aboard the train. One who disguises himself, uses a stiletto to kill, then vanishes into the snow. What do you think?
It's certainly a possibility, but in that case, it'll be hard to catch now. He's had quite a head start.
Or he could be out there frozen in a snowdrift or lying broken at the bottom of a rocky ravine. The body may never be found until the spring thaw.
Well, that conjures up an unpleasantly graphic image. You seem to really enjoy this stuff.
I enjoy the investigation, monsieur. I certainly do not enjoy the fact that a man has died.
No, of course not. Say, I was just wondering. I mean, I have no plans to return to the States right away. I may find myself back in Istanbul. I was wondering if you might consider having dinner with me some night.
And if you're in a Yugoslavian prison...
That sounds pretty unwholesome.
And I doubt they'd let you have guests in for dinner.
Okay. Let's see. Can I talk to the... Why was she in here or... Yes.
I don't think she's in the mood for conversation.
Okay. So what now? Oh right, we still have people to talk to. Obviously we need to talk to the workers. Probably. Have I talked to everyone?
Quite modern. I cannot take these towels. They're of too...
I'm almost certain that...
Oh my.
Yes. Certain that there will be something in the toilet at some point, maybe. So, Olsen, Marceu, Ratchet, Hubbard, Count and Countess, Dragomirov, Arbuthnot. We have talked to them, yes. Michelle is somewhere, but...
The door is locked.
Of course it is.
Every need provided for.
Okay. So down we go. Anyone in here? Have we seen the fire? Well, he's probably outside, so... Klaus. They probably are outside everyone. Well, not everyone, but most of them. Michelle? Not here. And vacant, Constantine, well... Matteo. Again, not in here. Oh.
Every need.
Okay, nothing. Right. Why do we have this in-game?
What are you doing?
Oh.
Let go of me. Ow! Take your hands off me. Put me down. Put me down. You will never get away with this. Oh.
Okay. Interesting. And I already think I know how I will escape from here.
Ow!
Hopefully, at least. Another lock. Okay. I might as well make a save here. Yeah, we opened the window earlier, so definitely.
It is far out of your reach, mademoiselle.
Okay, so we need to use something. But we don't have anything. Okay, that's interesting. We have empty
An
inventory.
antique stove. I haven't.
So what do we have that we might use?
It is secured some.
Yes, it is. There. Ah,
Princess Dragomirov's parasol.
and what is it doing in here? Even more odd, but that's good for now. And finally we can escape. And I'm guessing our stuff is in there.
The most generous of kidnappers. Are all your belongings restored to you?
Yes.
The snow. It is much.
Oh right, obviously we need the snowshoes. Oh right. Little stormy. Nope, wrong way. So, let's see if I can go and talk to anyone at the moment.
The time for talk.
Okay. So no talking to him at least. Can we?
All these doors. All these doors.
I don't know why I'm going to the bathroom. Let's jump to the package car and start from there, and because I want to see if I can talk to Debenham. Can I talk to you?
I beg your pardon, mademoiselle, but could...
Okay, what do we need to do actually? Search the train for any evidence that the suspects may be lying about their past. Question the suspects about their past. See if anyone has it. Use the ham radio to find out information about the suspects. So obviously we need to do that at least. Do I have everything we need for the ham radio?
I don't think she's in the mood.
Okay, she's not talking to me. Let's go and check the ham radio now. I'm guessing we need to try to do something with that. So, now if I remember, I probably have to check this. Copper wire, do we use that on anything? No. What do we have? Because I have vague recollection. We need at least a bowl. Okay, that is nice. Do we... Where's the...
This doesn't seem to work.
Do we need to do something for the copper bracelet, maybe?
The copper bracelet is now straight with a hooked end.
Okay. Can we now combine the copper?
I can't get them to fit.
No. So what now? Do I...
This is not...
No. What about this?
With any luck, that will power the radio, at least for a short time.
Yeah, I had a feeling we had to do this. And basically because this, I remember this was a little out there. The basics are sound, but definitely not working for the radio. What else? I do know we use the bent butter knife, but do we need to combine it with something? Maybe nails and hammer? Because we need to...
A makeshift telegraph key. I constantly amaze myself.
Yes. And
The radio has power, but I have no way to communicate through it. I'd better turn it off so as not to drain the battery.
okay, so we have this. Where's the copper wire? Okay. So I'm missing something. What am I missing? Not at least iron bar. Flat match, round match. Okay. Am I missing an item? Most likely I am. Do we... If this doesn't work, I probably have to check this. Oh no! So...
I suppose that will do as a telegraph key.
Okay.
There, the radio is ready to be used. That will save the cell from draining while I'm not using it.
Okay.
There, the radio. I don't know who to contact. I cannot just send random messages out into the ether.
Okay, who do I contact? What do we have in... Stavros Constantine. Okay. But who do I actually contact? Blank menu. Menu. Chauffeur's license, Hartman's credential. Do I contact McNeil? To validate that Hartman is what he appears to be. So where's the most? There it is. Like this.
Something is wrong here.
Ah. Okay. What else can we use? Family photography. I'm almost certain that we have to check the backgrounds. But I'm still a little... Am I missing... Honestly, that's annoying.
That will save the cell from draining while I'm not using it.
I don't know who to contact. Probably we have to do something else first. Maybe... No, not the Salon car. Maybe I have something I can use in my... Maybe I'm contacting my boss. Can I finally open my suitcase and check it? Also my... Oh, we can.
The notorious scarlet kimono in your bag, mademoiselle.
Well, of all the nerve.
Oh.
I don't need anything else.
Oh. Well, that's good thing we find the kimono, but that doesn't help me at all. Poirot, can you help me?
Monsieur Poirot.
Okay.
And that is everything I have discovered so far.
We progress, mademoiselle. Let
Do
us
we?
see what we can learn.
Oh. Okay.
Can we use the ham radio to help the investigation?
Oh, but certainement. This is a marvelous stroke of luck. Too often the coincidences, they help the criminal. What a refreshing change to have one that will aid Poirot. I have the friend, Monsieur Louis. His son Barnabas is a boy of much energy and interests. One of these is the radio of Ham, as his proud father reports in a recent correspondence. Young Barnaby can be our eyes and ears in the outside world. His letters to call are there in my valise in the letter from his father. Use the radio of Ham to find out more from him about our current predicament. Oh, he is an invaluable asset, mademoiselle. Do not forget to secure his letters, or you will not have the information needed to reach young Barnaby.
Okay, that's helpful. Book.
This book of Masterman's reveals more than he knows.
Love's Captive by the inestimable Mrs. Arabella Richardson, yes. And what does it reveal to you?
Romantic and military.
He was in the military.
Most men of a certain age fought in the war, mademoiselle. Even Poirot. Still, it is worth pursuing. Well done.
Hmm.
This driving license indicates Foscarelli has been a chauffeur.
A not unnatural profession for a man who loves the motor cars.
Okay.
Hildegard Schmidt's recipe box is suggestive.
You remember at dinner how she was most opinionated with the waiter while studying the menu? And the label on the box, it is interesting as well. My lady's recipes. Now that suggests that she is accustomed to cooking for her employers. Not a duty one attaches to the lady's maid, n'est-ce pas?
That is true, yes.
Mary Debenham's handkerchief does not match the one found next door.
No, despite the middle name of Hermione beginning with an H, I did not think that the expensive handkerchief would belong to her. No, the handkerchief of Mademoiselle Debenham is precisely the type one might expect to find in the luggage of a young English woman of her class.
Nice.
The postcard I found in Greta Olsen's suitcase tells a story.
This card, it speaks to Poirot in many ways. Coney Island is, I think, on the Long Island of New York in America. A country she claims not to have visited. Mademoiselle Olsen does not send the postcard to Sweden as she perhaps intended, but saves it as a keepsake for herself. It is not a happy memory, this. A last brief moment in the sun for a family soon to be swept away by the storm.
Yes, and yeah, kimono.
The scarlet kimono turns up in my luggage. I swear to you it does not belong to me.
Oh, mademoiselle, I have no doubt of that. You have vigorously pursued its owner's identity. No. It is a defiance, you understand? It is a gauntlet thrown down. Very well. We take it up.
Okay.
The handkerchief with the H belongs to the princess.
I confess I should have remembered that in the Cyrillic alphabet, Arch is written as N. And she has a strong motive to want Ratchet dead. But are we meant to believe that this elderly woman prances about in the scarlet silk kimono? Or could strike with such ferocity?
Now that's an idea.
Schmidt is accustomed to cooking for her employers, as we suspected.
And her mistake in how long she has been in the employ of the princess is remarkable. A difference 1/3 less than her mistress claims. 10 years. We must look deeper into this. What course do you suggest?
Countess, the name of Armstrong Cook.
I will radio to Barnaby.
A wise decision, I think.
I don't think the Countess will tell anything about that. So chauffeur.
Foscarelli was the Armstrong chauffeur.
It was a deduction most simple.
Master was Colonel Armstrong's valet.
Masterman was Colonel Armstrong's valet.
And his Batman during the war.
Greta Olsen was Daisy Armstrong's nurse.
This may explain the zeal with which she cares for her young charges at her mission, and why she never had any children of her own.
And
the nursemaid Suzanne, who threw herself to her death, was French.
Wait, to know her full name might be instructive.
That would be yes.
The Armstrong nurse was named New Daughter.
An odd name, that. What nationality do you think?
Slavic or Scandinavian?
Well, perhaps. I think that the Countess has the most fanciful mind and is quite adept at her word games. She is playing them now. Noi Daughter sounds, I think, only by coincidence, vaguely Scandinavian. Olsen is, of course, authentic Scandinavian.
New Daughter. New Daughter. Olsen, Old Son.
It is not yet fact, but it is worth pursuing.
Yes, and Gilbert.
Helena Gilbert's governess was an old hag named Freebody.
What an unfortunate name for an old hag is Freebody. It is more apt a name for the generation of flippers.
Flappers. The fast young women were called flappers in America. Thank goodness skirts are finally lengthening again.
As you say. I wonder if during your time at university in England you had occasion to patronize the clothing shops for the fashionable woman in London.
No, Monsieur Poirot, not on a student's budget.
There is such a shop near my own tailor called Debenham and Freebody, and the description the Countess gives to you is as far from the attractive young woman Mary Debenham as one could hope to get.
Right.
The Countess recognized no one on the train.
Including Madame la Princesse, her sister's godmother. Monsieur McQueen she may also have seen, but he has grown much, of course, and the appearance changes. But a woman of the advanced years of the princess does not change so much, I think. No, I find this lack of recognition the most damning point against the Countess in all of her evasions and lies. So you see now why the Countess's failure to recognize anyone grows beyond suspicious.
Perhaps she is nearsighted. If she were the second murderer in Ratchet's room last night, that might explain why she didn't notice he was already dead.
You know, at times you remind me so of my good friend Hastings. Merci, mademoiselle. Unfortunately, the report, it is not yet complete. We are now armed with much more additional knowledge than before. Continue the investigation, and do not be afraid to go over the ground you have already covered.
Yes, we need to get
The
this.
letter. Now I'd better put Monsieur Poirot's clothes back exactly as I found them.
Yes, you should. And exactly like they were. And the letter. Do I have it in here? Yet we need the information, obviously, before we continue. So we need the ham radio. Okay. My dear Poirot, I hope this note finds you well, and I trust your investigations in Turkey are proceeding satisfactorily. For myself, I am sorry to report that negotiations with the Argentinian delegation are not advancing as we had hoped. There is much reluctance on the part of the chief delegate, Senor Constalvo, that no one seems to understand. There is some mystery here, my friend. If our trade relations with South America are to remain intact, the truth must be uncovered. Therefore, I beg of you, my dear friend, as soon as your work in Turkey is complete, to return to England and take up this matter. Much depends on our concluding these delicate negotiations satisfactorily and with as much dispatch as possible. Yeah, you already said that. In your last letter, you kindly asked after my son, Barnabas, whom you met at Christmas. The young man with the enthusiasm for crime and all things electrical. Poirot, he has become a ham. I see the look of bewilderment you're directing at me even across all the miles that separate us. I don't mean the thing meat from a hog. And no, he has not run off and joined an acting troupe at the age of 17. He is a ham radio operator. He has a call letters and everything. 2N2THR. He tells me, Father, a chap needs those if he wants to transmit directly to me. The equipment was rather expensive, but it's apparently top hole, as they say. Quite powerful. He tells me he's exchanged messages with some fellow in Finland and a few nights ago. At least he thinks it was Finland. His Morse code isn't quite up to the snuff as yet. Still, it was very exciting. I look forward to your return. England needs her adopted son to solve our this perplexing mystery of the Argentinian trade delegate. Yours, Luz. Okay, so now we can go and try to use the ham radio. With that, we probably get the last info we need. And we are quite close to the end after that. So, oh right, this was the full. Is it okay?
There, the radio is ready to be used.
No.
There, the radio.
Superb, mademoiselle. You do not need to learn the Morse code if you have the book as reference.
Okay, so we are asking chlamydia-induced enteritis. That's the doctor. What can you find about family of train company employed by Pierre Michel? Can you confirm that Cyrus Hartman works for McNeil's detective agency? What was the name of actress Linda Arden's husband? So let's start. Okay. Right. Count Rudolf Adrani attached to the Hungarian... Okay. So I'm just clicking these and at some point I need to get the information. Countess Adrani. Adrani. Colonel Francis Gordon Arbuthnot. Okay. Oh, this is... Why it doesn't... Well... This is... Yeah, I do understand why it doesn't just go through them automatically, because maybe I don't have all the information. Well, to be honest, I probably should have all this information already in this point, because it cannot continue in certain points. So, okay.
That will save the cell from draining while I'm not using it.
But when...
There.
Okay. Well, that was fast. Okay, let's start with the calamity. Enteritis, particularly rump disease found in animals, especially newborn calves. Okay, and Michel. Pierre Michel has no family, he is not married, and his parents are deceased. The poor fellow is pretty much alone in the world. Really? Hartman's employment. Confirmed Cyrus Hartman has worked on McNeil's detective agency in New York for nearly 15 years. Okay, and Lisa Arden's husband. Linda. Linda Arden was never married, but the father of her two children was rumored to be a theatrical producer named Mark Gilbert. Show people, the rules just don't seem to apply to them. Oh. Count Rudolf Andreny is one of the rising young stars in Hungarian diplomatic corps. He has served in several major capitals of the world. But has he served in a USA? Countess Adrani married the Count just over a year ago. Maiden name was Gilbert. Well, that's a coincidence there. Arbuthnot. Arbuthnot is serving in India. Royal Northumbrian Fusiliers, solid but undistinguished military career of almost 30 years. And Debenham. Debenham comes from good family, daughter of Sussex clergyman, has had several positions as governess both here and abroad. Ah, governess. Hector McQueen. McQueen graduated from Princeton University of Yanks School Ivy League. No idea what that means. Since then, he's been gadding about the world doing things and that. Not much to tell, I'm afraid. Klaus. I could only locate one item of this chef fellow. Newspaper's account of an outbreak the domain at Stuttgart, Germany restaurant where he was the head chef. Nobody died, no charges filed, although he did go after a reporter with a cleaver, it seems. Okay. Matteo Riverte. Spanish ham radio enthusiast. One incident when he was younger, stabbed some fellow with a knife during a fight. But a good report on him from Marcel Bouc in Istanbul. I say Bouc was beside himself with the worry over your train getting stuck in the snow. I didn't mention that I was in contact with you, so it better be... Thought it to be discreet. Better to be discreet, yes. Hubbard. Checked with the American embassy about Mrs. Hubbard. You'd think a middle-aged lady could manage to stay out of trouble, but she's filed various nonsensical complaints about beggars accosting her, services at hotels, unfair prices from street vendors, and so on, with consuls in London, Paris, Prague, and Istanbul. They are of the opinion she should return to America and stay there. Yeah, well, I have to agree with them. Olson. Hold on to your hat, this is amazing. Greta Olson is really Greta Olson, a Swedish nurse and missionary working at school in Gemlik. Sorry, my little joke, she's who she claims to be. And Cook. Dempster Cook was German woman by name of Hildegard Schmidt. Well, what a surprise. Nursemaid. Ferrier, born in Paris. That's all I'm afraid. And record of Colonel Toby Armstrong. Okay, can I?
That will save the cell from draining while I'm not using it.
Let's see if I can get the information soon now. Or
there, the radio is ready to be used.
Okay, yep. So, Colonel Toby Armstrong. Colonel Armstrong was quite the hero, it seems. Awarded Victoria Cross, served in the Great War, then India and Afghanistan. Royal Northumberland Fusiliers. Tragic that kidnapping business destroyed him, poor chap. My pleasure, Mademoiselle Marceu. Glad to help. Please keep Poirot my pest, and if you're ever in London, I'd be pleased if you would have dinner with me. You have a light touch on the key. Hams can tell this sort of thing, you know. I think we would get on famously. Okay.
That will save the cell.
Yes, it will save. I think we have everything, so we need to go back and talk to everyone. How's the challenge looking? Okay. Quick break, I get something to drink. My throat is getting quite dry. Then we go back and question everybody. I think we are quite at the end, hopefully. Let's see about if I can end this game in this episode. Well, actually, I will end this episode because I don't think there's that much game left. But I digress. I get something to drink and I'll be right back. Okay, and back. Actually, I could make a save. So let's go and talk to people and see how this goes now. Now that I have new information. Oh, right. The Klaus is probably in here. Yes.
Do not disturb me! Someone has stolen my Black Forest cake batter, and I must make it once more.
Whoops. I better leave before he finds out that I have the batter. I don't think I can talk to you.
I beg your pardon, madam.
Yes. Anything new about you? I'm guessing...
Oh, please, Mish. I am so distressed. I am not able to talk at the moment.
Okay, fine. What about you?
Soon this entire affair will be behind us all. If only you and that Belgian detective will allow it.
Interesting. Very interesting attitude. And hello.
I do not know where my mind is these days.
Okay, so we're not talking... It might be that...
I don't think he's in the mood.
Okay.
Oh, another thing.
Wait, what? Why are we...
Your name is Helena, isn't it? Not Elena. You are Helena Maria Gilbert, are you not? Sonia Armstrong's sister, Linda Arden's daughter?
I demand, mademoiselle, to know what right you...
No, Rudolph. It is useless to deny what Mademoiselle Marceau says. It is quite true, mademoiselle. I am Helena Gilbert, the youngest sister of Sonia Armstrong.
Good day, Monsieur Lecomte.
Okay. That reminds me of Gabriel Knight 3, the... one of the characters. I'm not saying who... Well, he owned a vineyard, let's just say that, and Gabriel could disguise a reporter and go to talk to him. Interesting character. Do I need to talk to you?
I shan't change my story now, no matter how much you badger me.
I'm guessing no then. And Doctor?
Before I go, there was something else. What is the name of the conference you are addressing in London?
Why, it is the International Society of Gastrointestinal Physicians.
Why would such a group be interested in a speech about a disease found in newborn calves?
Why, there are many similarities between... What I mean is anatomy. Constantine, what have you done?
You lied to us about your qualifications, Doctor. You are a veterinarian, yes?
Yes, a very good veterinarian.
Monsieur Poirot and I relied on your qualified opinions.
Mademoiselle Marceau.
All the inconsistencies, the time of death, the difference in the force of the stab wounds. The murderer is strong, but no, look here, the murderer is weak. He is right-handed. No, he is left-handed.
Have you considered he may have held a knife in each hand?
Doctor, enough. All of it can be explained away with the simple fact that you did not know what you were doing.
Mademoiselle, all of my training was to become a medical doctor, to treat human disease and to save human lives. Then, I come from a poor family. I had not the money to finish my studies. The best I could accomplish was doctor of animals. When Monsieur Poirot was told there was doctor on the train, I saw an opportunity to prove myself. Not to you, you understand. To me.
But your evidence...
I swear to you, every observation I made, every conclusion I reached will be verified by any doctor who examines the body. Further, by my acting while the murder was as yet not too long in the past, I may very well have seen more than any doctor coming to the case days or even hours later. I did lie about my degree. I did not lie about my ability. You may rely on everything I have told to you. Yes, even with all the inconsistencies, you have the correct medical evidence before you.
I tend to believe him. So, Can we talk with Debenham? Well, to be honest,
Mademoiselle Debenham,
I
I
know.
must ask you why you lied to me earlier. Lied to you? I don't know what you mean. You told me you had never been in America. What makes you think I have? Information received, as the English police say.
And
You concealed the fact that you lived in the Armstrong household.
And what, may I ask, was I supposed to have been doing there?
You were governess to Helena Gilbert, Mrs. Armstrong's young sister. And you would have no doubt been governess to little Daisy when she was old enough.
You appear to have found me out.
And the reason for these evasions?
I have my living to get. You must know how hard it is for a girl to get and keep decent employment. I had been detained and questioned in connection with a murder case. Do you think that any nice, ordinary, middle-class Englishwoman would want to engage a girl with those references as governess to her daughters?
Even if no blame attached to you, there would be the publicity.
Yes, we have it hard enough getting on, don't we? Without all of that additional baggage.
right, but still.
Not now, when it's all over, when it's behind us.
Antoinette, those words refer to a private matter of my own. I can't tell you. I can't.
The problem is she still keep lying.
You could have helped the investigation.
How?
Is it possible, Mademoiselle Debenham?
Call me Mary, please.
Mary, is it possible you did not recognize Countess Andrenyi?
Recognize her? From the society pages, you mean?
She is Helena Gilbert, the young sister whom you taught in New York.
Helena. It is true she reminded me of someone. It puzzled me. But she looks so different now. So elegant. How could I connect her with a little American schoolgirl? I admit I looked more closely at her clothes than her face, and I had my own preoccupations.
Well, she could be telling the truth. I usually forget people quite easily.
I understand very well.
I thought you would know what it is like.
I am the hardest working employee in the office, yet I remain at the lowest wages. And I've worried more than once how my employer, Monsieur Bouc, will react when he learns of the avalanche, Monsieur Poirot's accident, the murder. I'm not to blame,
but somehow you will be blamed. It's not fair. It's just the way things are.
Au revoir, Mademoiselle Debenham.
Okay, so we're done with this now. I
wouldn't be surprised if this case is never solved.
Well, I can guarantee the case is solved because Poirot is here. And
I'm not in the mood to talk right now.
And me. Antoinette. Anything we need to talk to these people?
Keep your eye on your step. This is what they say in America. Watch it.
Okay.
You're the one bright spot in this whole business, if you don't mind me saying so.
You'll not get another word out of me.
Okay. Radio past. Do I go back to Poirot then? It would seem like it. So let's go and see if we can make something out of it, because I think I've done everything.
Ah, your return. So is there more to report to me, mademoiselle?
Interesting to see how this goes. I mean that have I done everything we need to proceed? Okay.
And that is everything I have discovered so far.
We progress, mademoiselle. Let us see what we can learn.
Okay. Gilbert.
Countess Adrenyi's maiden name is Gilbert.
Not a very Hungarian name, that.
Her accent is more American than Hungarian. Countess Andrenyi is Helena Gilbert, Sonia Armstrong's sister.
Ah, oui. It is easy to see why her devoted husband would try to hide that fact. Her account of the Armstrong household is of the greatest interest. Please to go over the points of her testimony that struck you.
Barnaby confirms Colonel Arbuthnot served with Colonel Armstrong.
Oui, the Royal Northumberland Fusiliers, a regiment most distinguished.
Yes, indeed. And
Barnaby has discovered that the last name of the Armstrong cook was Schmidt.
All of her ladies have said that she was a wonderful cook.
veterinarian.
Dr. Constantine is a veterinarian.
The only man on the train who answers the description of Ratchet's unknown enemy, and that is his only secret? Bah!
Pierre Michel has no family.
Never married, parents dead, his sister, her husband, and a niece dead in the car crash? Oh, this is enough to explain the sadness that haunts him, and yet he carries the happy family photograph with him, a wife and a child.
The nursemaid's full name was Suzanne Ferrier.
French. Yet no apparent connection to any of the others involved in that case. Ah, well, not every clue will lead somewhere.
Cyrus Hardman has worked for McNeil's for almost 15 years.
I wonder.
Okay.
The father of Linda Arden's children was named Gilbert.
No marriage, just children. Ah, the smart set is often not so smart, I think.
I have all the pieces. All that remains is for me to assemble them properly.
Très bien, mademoiselle. You have done well. Mademoiselle Marceu, you will recall my observation to you of the many classes and nationalities one meets when traveling.
Yes, of course.
Try to imagine whether such an assembly would ever likely to be collected under any other conditions.
In America?
Oui, the great melting pan of America.
Melting pot.
This is the answer I made to myself as well. Only in America you might find a household composed of such varied nationalities. And what do we discover here? Such a household has recreated itself aboard this train. A household damaged almost beyond recovery 10 years ago by the man Ratchet. And so we near the end of at least one journey. Please to assemble our fellow passengers in the salon car. Oh, and please also to send for Michel and Dr. Constantine. I will need their assistance to convey me to the salon car.
You will present your solution?
I will offer 3 solutions. You, mademoiselle, will decide which of them will best serve justice. Eh bien, messieurs, we have before us a most delicate operation. Transferring the person of Poirot to the salon car, where the suspects, they are all assembled. Poirot is ready for the ordeal. Marche! Mon Dieu, take care!
Beware of Greeks bearing gifts.
Mesdames et messieurs, there are 3 possible solutions of this case. There is the solution concocted for the benefit of the Yugoslavian police. who were expected to take up the investigation. A little play that was then embellished with several improvisations. When I, Hercule Poirot, unexpectedly appeared on the stage. And then there is a solution that reveals the most careful plotting of a truly brilliant mastermind. And yet there is also a third, one of which I think even now, that mastermind, in this carriage with us as I speak, has no knowledge. With the help of Mademoiselle Marceu, my able assistant, you see Poirot, he is also able to improvise, huh? I shall put all three solutions before you, and I shall ask Mademoiselle Marceu and the eminent Dr. Constantine here to judge which solution is the right one. Mademoiselle, are you ready to proceed?
Oui, monsieur.
Eh bien, we commence. Monsieur Ratchet had received the threats from an unknown enemy. Mademoiselle Marceu?
Oh, right. Okay, so I have to choose correct parts. Threatening letter.
The tone of these letters suggests an enmity born in the American underworld, of which Monsieur Ratchet was once a part. A former colleague in one of his kidnapping schemes? Who knows? We have the evidence of a detective Monsieur Ratchet hired to protect him.
McQueen?
The detective is Hector McQueen, pretending to be a secretary.
Can you really think that illustrates my point?
No, obviously not. I was just checking that. Can you answer a wrong answer and what happens? So obviously it's Hartman.
The detective is Cyrus Hardman, posing as a salesman of typewriter ribbons.
The evidence of Monsieur Hardman, who is indeed a detective hired to protect Monsieur Ratchet, gives to us a description of a small, dark man with a womanish voice. Except for the voice, this description would only fit 2 men on this train.
Well, Constantine is wearing petite clothing at least. So maybe that. But yeah, apparently you can just answer and incorrectly, and Poirot gives you another chance and again, I'm guessing. So basically you really can't fail this.
Matteo, the Athens-Paris coach attendant, and Dr. Constantine.
Yet Monsieur Hardman's vigilance during the night shows that no one could have passed from the Athens-Paris coach to the Calais coach without his seeing them. So anyone in that coach must be exonerated. The enemy actually came aboard the train at Belgrade one of 2 ways.
Wait a minute. McQueen told that he left the door unbolted.
Through the door left unbolted by Monsieur McQueen.
This enemy was disguised, leaving behind a button in Madame Hubbard's room when he used her connecting door. Mademoiselle, the disguise?
Well, then it has to be the attendant's uniform.
A passkey was found in the pocket of this uniform, giving the murderer access to Ratchet's room. Ratchet was under the influence of a dose of his sleeping draught, light enough to wake him, but strong enough to prevent him from struggling as the killer left through the connecting door.
Wait a minute. That was the McQueen. No. Masterman. Masterman? Was it the Masterman? I think it was the Masterman.
Masterman confirmed the dosage of the sleeping draught.
Oui, he did. Well, the murder weapon is obvious. Mademoiselle?
Not this. Steak knife was clean, so maybe Stiletto then?
It is a stiletto, the type of knife carried by the criminal type in America called the mafiosi.
The killer planned to leave the train at the next station after committing his crime. Show to them the evidence supporting this, mademoiselle.
Well, it's the torn letter which we found. Found.
Exact. The avalanche prevented him from reaching Broad. Even so, he went through with the crime and then hit himself.
Well, he has to be in the empty room, I think, because the letter is also there.
The killer hid in an empty room in the Athens-Paris coach.
At first, in the Athens-Paris coach, then later, it is in the hut. Mademoiselle found the uniform and the stiletto. But the killer had fled. He may have escaped down the mountain, or he may have come to his just reward somewhere out there in the snow. I think you will agree that we had followed the trail as easily as if we were tracking the footprints in the snow. Well, it is plausible. It certainly fits the most obvious set of facts. I applaud the mastermind who hides behind such an innocent face. The second solution asked more of the little Gressels. Not only of Poirot, but those of Mademoiselle Marceau and Dr. Constantine as well. It was hidden most carefully. The unlikely accident of a means of communicating with the outside world, a part filled most ably by my dear friend Barnaby, made the truth, or at least part of it, easier to uncover. But I flatter myself that enough clues were found right here on this train that such communications were almost always but collaborations of conclusions that I had already reached. So, mademoiselle, we will begin again. First, I will speak to you of time. When did Monsieur Ratchet meet his end? I suspect Mademoiselle Marceau has the theory.
Well, this is problematic. What my timetable? Oh, sorry. Hopefully it's not too loud. I just bumped the microphone. Checks. Okay, so 1:15, but was that in with the clock? I'm just checking. Can I actually check the timetable
I need
here?
a moment to decide.
Time is of the essence, mademoiselle. Pray do not take too long.
Okay, but I want to check if I can. What's the challenge? Challenge looking. Okay. McQueen leaves Ratchet. Greta is last person to see the. Yeah, Greta saw Ratchet. I don't think she's lying about that. Avalanche. The problem is, yeah, this is what we have established. But I don't know. It's either one of these. Not later, don't think so. I'm between these. Yeah, I know the watch is saying the 115, so should I trust it? Also, the doctor said it's 115. But I'm still worried about the French part. I'll try the 115. This probably is wrong.
1:15 a.m. The watch was broken during the attack, and Madame Hubbard heard the killer in her compartment only moments later.
Let us examine each possibility in turn. 10:40 p.m. or earlier? No. I think not. Mademoiselle Olsen spoke to Ratchet from the doorway at 10:40 p.m., but she never went inside. It conjures the image most bizarre of her throwing a knife at him 12 times from the doorway. And how does she retrieve it? Is there string attached to the handle? No. No, that is a solution of a most lurid sort. 12:37 a.m.? A more interesting possibility. Monsieur McQueen states that Ratchet spoke no languages other than English, and yet the voice answered Michel in French.
No.
Still, I think this was simply a performance for the benefit of Poirot. One of the little improvisations. I was meant to see through it and say, no. Monsieur Ratchet, he was already dead by 12:37. He could not have cried out.
The broken watch said 1:15.
Oui, it did. And it fits with the time of Madame Hubbard's visitor. Now I digress for the reminiscence. I observed to Mademoiselle Marceu that one meets many classes and nationalities when traveling aboard the Express. I asked her to imagine whether such an assembly would ever likely to be collected under any other conditions. And Mademoiselle, what was your reply?
In America?
In America.
C'est ça. Only in America will you find a household composed of so many nationalities. Look about you. As our investigation progressed, it became clear that 9 passengers on this train are connected in some way to the Armstrong kidnapping. Who have we connected to that case, mademoiselle?
I think Countess at least.
Countess Andrenyi.
Arbuthnot, yes.
Colonel Arbuthnot.
Debenham.
Debenham.
Dragomirov.
Princess Dragomirov.
Yeah, Foscarelli.
Antonio Foscarelli.
Not Hartman. I don't think Hubbard, no. McQueen, yep.
Hector McQueen.
Masterman. Yes.
Edward Masterman.
And Olson.
Greta Olson.
And Hildegard Schmidt.
Hildegard Schmidt.
Anyone? We have no connection with these. And no. Yeah, basically Anthony, obviously he's connected through her wife, but not directly. So at least that's what I'm thinking, so none of the above.
None of the above.
Précisément. These 4 alone, amongst the occupants of the Calais coach, would appear to have no direct connection with the Armstrong case. Yet I was struck by the curious coincidence that everyone in the Calais coach had an alibi. And these alibis are sometimes corroborated even by those not connected to the Armstrong affair. One of you stated to Mademoiselle Marceu that while Monsieur Ratchet got what he deserved, you would have preferred to see him properly hanged. The trial by jury is a sound system.
Arbuthnot.
Who said that, mademoiselle?
Arbuthnot.
Colonel Arbuthnot.
Just so. Colonel Arbuthnot. Now that struck a chord with Poirot. I sat back and thought, a jury is composed of 12 people. There are 12 passengers in the Calais coach, discounting myself and Mademoiselle Marceu. Ratchet, he was stabbed 12 times. And the reason the Calais coach was filled in the middle of the winter was explained. All, I repeat, all of the passengers were in on it. They had to be. No alibi could be left to the whim of a stranger. Did this solution explain everything? Let us see. What were the clues that pointed to the first solution, mademoiselle?
All of these clues agree with the first solution.
Wait, and now of course my attention focused on Monsieur Hartmann, for he, the apparent outsider, had provided a key element in this artificial solution of an unknown enemy. How to explain his complicity? And then I remembered that Mademoiselle Marceau had told to me 2 suggestive moments during 2 different interviews with Monsieur Hartmann.
What was it? What did he say? I'll have to check one thing because I have it in here. He said something about snow.
When he said the snow was bright.
May we? The snow has not been very bright today. The sky, it is overcast.
Oh.
And in his apology, he mentions his fondness for French girls. Countess Andrenier told us that the nursemaid, she was French. Her name was Suzanne. Our young friend Barnaby Lewis confirms via the ham radio that her full name was Suzanne Ferrier, and that she was born near Paris. So, it is not so much a leap, I think, to wonder if perhaps the man from New York and the French girl working there might not have formed the attachment.
I've been a detective for almost 20 years, Monsieur Poirot, but I'm in admiration of you. Yeah, Suzanne and I were going to ask her uncle if we could get hitched. He was her guardian. Then the kidnapping and everything. It was too much for her.
Her uncle, monsieur? And his name?
Oh, jeez, I can't say I remember.
A detective for almost 20 years? And you never even knew the name of your fiancé's guardian?
No, probably got it written down somewhere back in New York.
Enough of this foolishness. I can guess his name right now, and so I expect can Mademoiselle Marceau.
Monsieur Ferrier?
Monsieur Ferrier.
The picture in your valise, it is that of you, your sister, and her daughter Suzanne?
Oui, monsieur. After my sister and her husband died in a car crash, I raised Suzanne as my own child.
And so, that leaves only one.
Me? If your tenant is one of your killers, Mr. Poirot, that makes you 12. You don't need me.
No, madame. I have come to the odd conclusion that the person who has taken no part in the crime is the one who would be considered most likely to do so. I refer to Countess Andrenier. Her husband swore on his honor she did not leave her room last night. A count from a noble family? A rising young star in the Hungarian diplomatic service? Such a man does not swear upon his honor lightly. No, it is much more probable that he tells the truth. And it is the devoted husband who, so to speak, takes his wife's place. So you see, madame, we are back to 11 without you.
Well, I never. Wait until my daughter hears about this.
Why not tell her now? She is sitting there right beside you, Madame Arden. You are the instigator, or the director, I should say, of this entire performance. You, who Mademoiselle Debenham so rightly called the strongest character among us. And there you have it. Does this second solution explain everything? Let us see. Mademoiselle Marceau, what was the real murder weapon?
Well, apparently it's not the stiletto. To be honest, that's little too convenient. Meat cleaver definitely not, and not a gun. So that leaves us the steak knife because it was the cleanest.
But of course, a drama planned this carefully does not include the blood-stained stiletto with the fingerprints of some unknown.
Oh, right, yeah.
That is merely a prop, as were the 2 threatening letters. The burned note, of course, was a real threat. The conspirators most assuredly did not want this murder tied to the Armstrong kidnapping, and the true weapon, with no incriminating mark upon it, might never have been found if it had been thrown inches further.
Yeah, that's
Bloody
true.
steak knives aren't balanced properly for throwing. My hat's off to you, though, Miss Marceau. When I saw where it landed, I wasn't about to crawl out there and end up at the bottom of that ravine. Took some nerve doing what you did, and there's no denying it.
Hear, hear.
So, the improbable differences in the stab wounds is now explained. 2 so-called clues were dropped in the dead man's compartment. Mademoiselle?
Pipe cleaner and handkerchief.
The pipe cleaner, incriminating Colonel Arbuthnot, who had one of the strongest alibis and whose connection to the Armstrong family was probably the hardest to prove. And the second clue found in the room, mademoiselle?
Handkerchief.
The handkerchief, incriminating Princess Dragomirov, who by virtue of her frail physique and the alibi given by her maid and Michel was practically in an unassailable position. Then there was the clue found at the shepherd's hut with the incriminating fingerprints. Do you have it, mademoiselle?
It has to be the padlock because there was no fingerprints in that, and it was found in the hut. Snowshoes was not in the hut, but padlock was.
With Mateo's incriminating fingerprints on it.
Not precisely cricket, you know, Tonio, to incriminate an innocent man.
Cyrus could swear Mateo had not entered the Calais coach. Michel informed us the radio was in the baggage car, and I wanted to put it out of commission. I did not want to destroy the equipment. It must have taken him much saving to purchase. So I only smashed the telegraph key. Signorina, you are a miracle worker for sure. To get the radio working again. I know about these things. That was a stroke of a genius.
Stick to the point, Monsieur Foscarelli.
With great pleasure. The padlock was just hanging there. I found the snowshoes earlier, and then the shepherd's hut. I was supposed to find a good place for the uniform and the stiletto, and the hut was perfect. But I had to break the lock to enter. All I did was go and get the padlock on the radio crate. I didn't mean to point the finger at Mateo.
The other red herring was not a herring at all, but it was certainly red. Mademoiselle?
Well, then it has to be the kimono.
And then to put it in my valise was not a nice trick.
The kimono is mine, monsieur. And mademoiselle, I had no intention of trying to incriminate you. I had to put it someplace. And I thought it would be amusing if you found it there.
Ah oui, you enjoy your little games, Countess. Mademoiselle Freebody indeed. Well, Madame Arden?
I always fancied myself in comedy parts. Bravo, Mr. Poirot. Well done.
Applause from an actress of your stature is praise indeed, madame.
We were all at the house, a house filled with almost unendurable pain and sadness. The Perkinson brothers were dead, but Cassetti had got clean away. We decided then and there that the sentence of death that Cassetti had escaped would be carried out. Little did we know how many years would pass, how many false leads Mr. Hardman would track down before Cassetti would be found.
Whatever country my work took me to, no matter how tough the case, I always saved plenty of time to try and pick up the trail. But he kept on the move. Brazil, Mexico, most of Europe. Ratchet was only the last of a string of aliases.
Then Mr. Michel wrote to me. It was he who, quite by accident, had recognized Cassetti traveling aboard the Istanbul to Calais train. When we learned the man, now calling himself Ratchet, frequently traveled to the Middle East aboard the train, we knew we could have some control of the scene of our planned execution. It took months. But in time, Ratchet hired both Hector and Masterman.
One of us would have been enough. Two were better.
Hector handled all of Ratchet's travel arrangements. With Michelle's help, passage was booked on the same train he would be using to return from his latest excursion to the Orient. The rest you seem to know.
Oui, madame. Indeed, the rest Poirot knows.
But I don't understand. You've uncovered everything. We know we did it. How can there be another solution?
Simplicity itself. There is among you one who is not who he pretends to be. With the help of Mademoiselle Marceu, I will now present you with those clues which fit neither solution so far proposed, and present you with a truth that will surprise even you. I know some of you suspected something was not quite right, but let us now look at the clues that fit neither solution so far. Madame Schmidt says she saw the phantom attendant, but we know now it was sheer invention. Yet we have the testimony of an independent witness who says he saw the non-existent small dark attendant actually getting on the train. Mademoiselle?
Engineer. Was it?
The engineer.
Oui, the engineer while the train was in the Belgrade station. And then there is the crate of Monsieur Ratchet and its unknown occupant. What clues associate themselves with that crate, mademoiselle?
Books or attendant's uniform. I'll go with books.
The pile of books.
Oui, the uniform I think worn by the person the engineer saw. The pile of books mademoiselle believes were useful in the planning of the crime, yet no one has mentioned them. And the fact that the person with access to that key would be in the best position to tell us something of the occupant of that crate. And lastly, there is the little matter of the kidnapping of Mademoiselle Marceau.
The what?
Monsieur Foscarelli.
I would not harm the signorina.
It is why we are all here, to punish the kidnapper.
She's right, Poirot. How can you think any of us would resort to kidnapping after all we've been through?
As you can see, Monsieur Perkison, we have pieced together much of your story. Only the reasons remain, and I leave those to you.
What did you call him?
He called him Parkinson.
That is my name. Robert Perkinson.
Silence! At once! You will obey me in this and listen to what Monsieur Perkinson has to say. You owe to Poirot that, I think.
Please understand. I know how you must hate me. It was my dear wife Isabella, the unidentified woman the papers mentioned, who pleaded with Paul and me as the police closed in to let her take Daisy away. She was sick with grief.
Take Daisy away?
Cassetti killed the wrong little girl. He crept up while Teresa was alone outside and shot her in cold blood. He was gone again before we knew what had happened. We'd refused his orders to kill Daisy, you see, so he took matters into his own hands and killed my little girl by mistake. If any group of people could know exactly how my wife felt, you are here before me. And we were afraid. Some accident when the police came. It was unthinkable the little girl should come to harm after we had just buried our own daughter. Some time after I escaped, after Paul had died in the electric chair, and Isabella had identified some John Doe found floating in the harbor as me, I joined Isabella and Daisy in France, where they now lived as mother and daughter. I knew we should return the child, but my wife would have died the day she was gone. The child now answered to the name of our little girl, Teresa, and called my wife Mama. You understood the meaning of the photograph, Mr. Poirot?
Your family. You, your wife, and your little girl. And once I realized that, I knew that you could not be Pierre Michel. I then began to consider who you must be. Only one figure could not be accounted for with certainty. Robert Parkinson.
Last year, only days after my Isabella succumbed to a cancer that I think grew inside of her since the day of the kidnapping, I sought out Michel. He informed me of the plan to punish Cassetti, a plan that he, despite the death of his niece, never thought he could see through. He showed me the letters Mrs. Hubbard had written to him. He was in a terrible state.
He had seen Cassetti.
Yes, twice. On this very train. I could see he was not a strong man and would not be able to face Ratchet. I looked at those letters and asked him one question. Had Mrs. Hubbard or any of the others ever met him in person? His answer was no. I wanted Cassetti dead as much as any of you. He killed my child, and just as surely my wife. So here I am.
But, my granddaughter?
She has been staying with my wife's sister in Belgrade for the past few days. She came aboard the train there last night, dressed in an attendant's uniform. She changed into her regular clothes and has been camping out, as she calls it. The nuns at her school have kept up her studies, in English as well as French.
She is a good student indeed, to have brought all her school books with her on the campout.
I told her to study. She has been staying in the baggage car in Ratchet's crate. Last night I took some food from Klaus's kitchen when he had gone off for a moment.
And the statue worth $4,000?
I dumped it on a trash heap near Sirkeki Station, I'm afraid. This cargo is far more precious.
At last, the riddle it is solved, n'est-ce pas, mademoiselle? And with a most satisfactory solution indeed. Mademoiselle Marceau, while they enjoy this brief moment before you render your final decision, let us, you and I, see whether you are up to the challenge the Poirot presented to you when our investigation began. Let us check the progress report you have been keeping in your scrapbook.
Okay.
Mademoiselle Marceau, Poirot, he is impressed. You are courageous. You face the dangers without flinching. You solve almost every puzzle that confronts you, overcome almost every obstacle with enthusiasm and good humor. It has been my extreme pleasure to work with you and to match the wits with you. I am sure that with the knowledge you now have of my methods, you could do even better, should you ever find yourself faced with another mystery to solve.
Okay, that was interesting. And a little different ending from the book. And we are finally cleared.
You are the representative of the train company, Mademoiselle Marceau. You have been instrumental in assembling the evidence that pointed to the solutions I have now shared. And you have been ill-used.
I am truly sorry, mademoiselle. I left you all of your belongings in that box, except the one I needed back, the key to the security room. You now know why. My precious cargo had to eat. You have proven to be most ingenious. Twice you almost discovered my secret passenger. I left the parasol for you to discover. I had no doubt you would free yourself. If not, I would have found an anonymous way to inform someone of your whereabouts.
I understand why you did it.
As Monsieur Parkinson so rightly observes, you have proven your grey cells to be almost equal to those of Hercule Poirot. So, what do you say, Mademoiselle Marceau? Which solution shall we present to the Yugoslavian police in broad? Silence, s'il vous plaît. It is now time to hear what Mademoiselle Marceau has decided.
Well, I'm going with the book version. I don't know if you can actually choose anything, but the first solution is the one which is the original, if I remember absolutely correct. Hopefully I'm not mistaken. But yeah, everybody in the Calais coach was the killer. Everybody took part in it, and the idea was obviously with the evidence to point it everywhere but nowhere at the same time, obviously. So basically you had evidence that, yeah, there's the colonel's pipe cleaner, but he couldn't be in there because he was somewhere else. But so yes, I'll take the first solution. Again, I don't know if you can choose different solutions and if that affects anything, but yeah.
Here are my thoughts on the first solution. It is not the truth, but fits the facts, at least one set of facts, and it will be the simplest by far to explain.
Okay. Oh.
My opinion of the second solution is this. It is at least most of the truth, as much as 12 people in this car knew. They are self-confessed murderers, and yet, no, that word is wrong. Justice was done here. Of a kind, perhaps not the justice I would have preferred. In that, I agree with Colonel Arbuthnot. But still, can there be anyone, knowing Ratchet and knowing these people as well as I now do after only a few hours, who can't see the rightness of their cause? These are my feelings about the third solution. It is the whole truth. More heartache than even these 12 people knew. And it must stop somewhere, mustn't it? There are lives to build and rebuild here. I think of Greta's words on her postcard, and of the family that had one last day in the sun at Coney Island before the storm engulfed them. I think they all, including Monsieur Perkinson, deserve a chance in the sun again. Therefore, it is my belief, Monsieur Poirot, the first theory you put forward was the correct one. An unknown enemy of Monsieur Ratchet, whom the murdered man feared, sneaked aboard the train disguised as an attendant and is responsible for the murder. Unfortunately, he is still at large, or lies frozen in a snowbank somewhere awaiting the spring thaw. I suggest that is the solution we offer to the Yugoslavian police when we arrive in Broad.
Dr. Constantine?
Even if I did not owe you and Mademoiselle Marceau so much, I have learned to leave such matters to those best qualified to decide. I, of course, accept Mademoiselle Marceau's decision.
Why? Exactly.
Yeah, that's my view. What did I tell you?
Yes, thank you.
Monsieur Poirot, your ankle!
It feels much better. And Poirot? He has been cooped up in his room far too long. He has the need of some fresh air.
Mr. Michel, I'm sorry, Perkinson. I cannot find it in my heart to hate you. All I find there is forgiveness and thankfulness for giving us back something we thought we'd lost forever. In fact, it seems you are now one of the family.
Thank you.
Daisy, child, my dear, I am your grandmother.
And here we are, the end of the Murder on the Orient Express. Definitely interesting and lovely game. Obviously follows quite... I'll have to skip this now. Follows definitely the book quite a lot. The third option is added to make a little difference in the game. But the most of the things did follow the book quite accurately. Definitely interesting game, and I enjoyed it quite a lot again to play it the second time. The problem, if you have it, is that obviously if you know how the book goes, if you know the story, have seen the movies, then there's not that many surprises for you. And yeah, the one part at the middle part where I had to find the fingerprints and find the missing items, that started to be a little bit annoying, because I read somewhere when I was trying to find those fingerprints and the knife that there might still be basically bug. I don't know if that's true. I was checking Universal Hint System page, which is actually a nice page for adventure puzzle games, because you can have hints revealed to you and not give you the full way to solve the puzzle, unless you, of course, you can find it from there, but you can try to use the hints only. Anyways, I digress. From there I read that there can be a problem that you have found everything, you have everything, but still the Poirot doesn't go thinking mode. And basically the only recommendation is to load the game where you need to return the heat and go it step by step. Fortunately, we didn't have to do it. It was just the knife I missed. Again, I made notes quite a lot, although it's weird. I mostly knew that they were mostly, I'm saying mostly quite a lot, mostly useless. But it helped me on the last questioning. I didn't have to go to the inventory, and also that snow part. Fortunately, I had written it down. Otherwise, I would have just had to guess it or tried it. Again, it seems like you can't really make wrong choices at the end. You can choose the wrong ones, but the Poirot just says, "I don't think that's the right one. Would you like to think it through?" So, in great scheme of things, it really doesn't matter at the end, and neither really the competition against Poirot. I don't know what it does if you don't take the competition there. Puzzles, well, mostly excellent and interesting. The ham radio is a little bit out there. The basics are sound like I said, but to be honest, I had to check that when I played this last time. So I fortunately started to remember how it works, and I remember that there was something that, yeah, you had to use the juice and whatnot to make the electricity. But yeah, I'm starting to get again tired. It should have been, I should have been stopped this earlier, but it took me a lot of time to find the knives and whatnot. So it took me. It's later than I anticipated, and also this is longer than I anticipated. I have to see if I, well, it is what it is. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this Murder on the Orient Express, and next time, if everything goes well, it will be the Evil Under Sun. That will conclude our Agatha Christie run at the moment. And there are, well, GOG and Steam sells ABC Murders and Poirot's First Cases. I'll have to check those, but no promises about those games. But at least the Evil Under Sun I will do next, if I can get it to work. But so far everything has been working quite well. Murder on the Express, and then there were none. So I'm hoping it will work also. But anyways, that's it this time, and I hope I see you again on another game. So without further ado, goodbye.